Ready? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Trailblazers Rising, where we discuss strategies for scaling beyond limits. Today, I have with me a very special guest, my friend and fellow adventurer at the Neurospicy Academy, Miss Haley S. Wens. I always imagine
Hello.
people um, applauding right now when I say that. And Haley is a very interesting entrepreneur. And I don't want to butcher what it is that she does. She is a master's of occupational therapy, registered and licensed.
You got it.
So, Haley, tell us a little bit about what that means and what it is that you do.
Um, what a great question because if anyone hears occupational therapy, they're like, "Oh, you help people find occupations, right?" No, I don't. Maybe it needs another name, right? But what I do is I support neurodivergent and disabled children and, you know, being successful, being included and accessing what they want in life and meeting their goals, whether that has to do with emotional regulation, sensory processing, executive functions, motor skills, communication, and play.
Oh, that sounds so fun. It's effective for children and adults with neurodivergence. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I just broke into kind of the teen young adult realm recently,
Oh
which
boy,
has
I'm
been
sure that
very
is
interesting.
exciting. I have a house of teenage boys here, my children, so I can only imagine what it is that you are dealing with. So let us dive into some of the more fun stuff. We really speak to neurodivergent entrepreneurs at every stage of the journey, every
Mhm.
stage of the entrepreneurial game. So can you spill the beans and tell us what led you to entrepreneurship and starting your own business?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess it would have started when it kind of all came together in a nice way. It was kind of like the whole neurodiversity paradigm shift idea started taking off, which is the idea that, can you hear me well? Okay. Which is like in the past, the model was kind of a more medical deficit based model where it was like, okay, we've got this neurotypical brain. And then, by the way, everything else is pathological. And right?
Yes,
That's how it was when I was a kid,
yes, yes.
you know?
100% agree.
Yeah. So then we built the world and society and programs and institutions for and by this neurotypical neurotype. And then if you don't fit there, you're either masking to fit there or you're going to fall through the cracks.
Yes.
So that I became very obsessed with this paradigm shift. And I wrote a book about it for parents and teachers and providers. And I was like, I'm going to sell 11 copies of this ebook because
Oh,
I know, because it's just a passion project. This was fun, like, wow, yay. It took off like crazy. And I think that's what gave me the confidence to be like, I think I got something going on here, you know what I'm saying?
something,
And
something.
in OT, a lot of the times you are working at 100% productivity, meaning that I'm sorry to talk about money, but I
No.
have to because this is just a burnout field. If you are not seeing a client, you're not getting paid,
Yeah.
so therefore you can't really work 40 hours a week because you you work at 100% productivity at 40 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 25 even? I don't think so. To live like a well-rounded health life without burnout, I don't think that's possible. And so I needed to find a way where I can um, still support my family as a single mother with single income while also helping the amount of families that I want to help. And so that's where I've gotten into the writing. And the writing has also given me speaking opportunities, which reaches out to more people. Um, and then starting to break out into workshops as a
Yeah.
way. as a way to reach more people while not burning out.
Yeah. Yeah. You and I are very similar in our approach to neurodivergence because the number one comment I get on most of my videos about burnout and neurodivergence and breaking the cycle of it and accommodating and embracing your sensory needs first and foremost is everybody goes, how do I go about getting my diagnosis? How do I go about getting treatment? How do I go about this? And here's the thing. If you live in the Western world, I myself am in Florida, so you can imagine the hurdles that we have down here over
Mhm.
everything possible. But there's literally no reason in my eyes to obtain a diagnosis. First and foremost, right now, if you do get diagnosed ADHD, if you get a doctor to agree that yes, this is what is
Mhm.
going on, because you've already
Mhm.
done your research, and then you walk into the doctor's office that you've been
Mhm.
dreading this appointment, and you go, okay, I've done my
Mhm.
research. Here's my huge stack of information. I have ADHD. I
Yeah.
just need you to give me the medication. They don't like it when you do that. They
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
undercuts what they've done. But the medicine's out right now. The FDA wouldn't agree, the DA, all of them wouldn't. So now they're giving everybody sugar pills. So, and secondly, secondly, an autism diagnosis, a formal autism
Uh-huh.
diagnosis does not lead to any accommodations anywhere.
No.
Everybody's trying to catch up. Every employer, whether they're a Fortune 500 company or they're a solopreneur, right? Or somebody, a small business that maybe has 5 employees, everyone is trying to navigate this world of accommodations
Mhm.
right now, right?
Mhm.
DEI and
Mhm.
all. And I'm here for it. Absolutely, I am. But I want to get women, especially out of the mindset, especially late diagnosed, high achieving women. I want to get them out of the mindset that you get a diagnosis and everything is fixed. Because here's the thing, baby. I fought for my diagnosis in my early 20s when my kids were little
Mhm.
and my life was falling apart. I couldn't keep up with everything. And then I
Mhm.
got the diagnosis and took meds for a little bit and went, okay. And then the meds weren't working the way I wanted them to be working. So I started navigating life with the mask back on and without anything.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until these past couple of years I was like, oh, hold on a second. I can take supplements. I
Mhm.
can take self-care seriously. I can cut
Yes.
off toxic people. I can start doing things the way that feel good to me. Maybe my body likes a nap around 3 p.m. Maybe there's no pathological problem here that needs to
Yeah.
be fixed. Maybe this isn't a fix. Maybe this requires an accommodation.
It requires a whole restructuring of your life
God, I love you. Keep
because
talking.
the 24 I mean, we can talk I mean, are we gonna start talking about capitalism now? What's gonna happen? I don't know.
No,
The 24-hour day and how it's designed in the 9 to 5, like, this is just not
yeah,
who's that for?
men.
For a very niche, neurotypical, "Oh, man," you
Yeah.
know? Like, that's not for us. And I'm sitting here freaking luteal, foggy. I don't even know what's going on. I need some Oreos,
Okay, Oreos.
you know?
Yeah, get this woman Oreos and a Diet Dr. Pepper.
And I can do that,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
That doesn't
so
mean something's wrong.
nothing's pathological here if you need to start your day at 4 a.m. and end it at 1 p.m. Like, y- it's the diagnosis, it can do things in terms of like you find your community, you're demystifying your physiology, you're learning, it might give you some validity in some areas, but like you said, the real magic comes when you start restructuring your life for your neurotype, for your sensory processing, for your executive functions and praxis and motor planning and for people who menstruate, that's also different in different times of the month. When I'm ovulating, watch out, you know? When I'm in my luteal phase, also watch out though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I get it.
but when I'm ovulating, it's like the most productive, high energy, excited, so much gets done. And then you hit your luteal phase and you're like, what is wrong with me?
Yes.
And why did I commit to this? But then you
I
can
just
also
made
not,
I just
yeah.
made a video today about including, your reproductive, your menstrual cycle in your energy planning for the week and like in the month and all that. And I said out loud that because I've really done a lot of work to get my hormones back in check because I have
Mhm.
PCOS,
Mhm.
PMDD, and
Mhm.
endometriosis. And when I was watching the video back to edit it, I even wanted to start gaslighting myself just hearing me say, like, you can't have all three of those. You can have all three of those because we are programmed to gaslight ourselves and not believe that we can have
Yeah.
any of the, and that they can actually be affecting us.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so
Ugh.
yeah, restructuring your whole day to fit your neurotype, and then for menstruating people, restructuring your month too.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
can you imagine if you put all your things in your ovulation week and your downtime in your luteal phase or your whatever phase is low for you?
I will tell you because I have my energy optimization planner, I have my self-care planner, I have the workshop coming up, Time Hackers Workshop. We've talked
Mhm.
about this at length at the
Mhm.
Neurospicy Academy, of which you are a member, that
Yes.
I literally have 2 good weeks every month and 1 week a month that what did Christina call it? She said I'm thorny. And then 1 week where
I
I'm
said
literally
prickly.
I'm underground. Prickly, thank you. That's probably what it
Yeah.
was. And then 1
Yeah.
week where I'm literally like, I feel really sacred and powerful, but I go pretty much underground,
Mhm.
right? So it's like
Mhm.
I have 2 weeks out of every 4-week period to like hit it hard, but not so hard
Yeah.
that I'm gonna burn out.
Mhm. Mhm.
Ugh,
I also
I guess
think that's what I thought I was doing is I thought I was going hard and then burning out and going hard and burning out, but I was really in my ovulation and then in my luteal phase
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
But also I
That's
probably
fine.
was burning out though too. But, and as neurodivergent menstruating people, we are going to be more sensitive to our cycles
Mhm.
and everything, by the way.
Sensitivity. Listen, neurodivergence, we could simply, instead of calling it ADHD and autism, let's just call it what it is. Super sensitive nervous system.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is. That's it. My
Mhm.
neurotype is that it's real sensitive. It's picking up on everything you don't want it to.
Mhm. And then how is that affected when you're living in a neurotypical world that does not support you whatsoever and you're constantly masking your sensory needs, your how you are social emotionally, you're doing things that do not fit your executive functions, and then that's further dysregulating your nervous system, putting you further into fight or flight or more of a dissociation state. And then you've got all these health issues that come up that are the result, like multiple allergies, sensitive to barometric pressure, which you were talking about, like
Fibromyalgia.
hypersensitive, hyper vigilant nervous system that is responding and reacting to
Yep.
everything. Like I personally have mast cell activation disorder,
Yes.
which,
Yes.
I'm, yeah,
If I get excited or mad, I give myself hives
yeah. And it's like, can we
every
not
time.
experience a range of emotions without pooping my pants would be nice.
Listen, sometimes the only time I get it going is with a big
With a big
disappointment
emotion.
or a big emotion. I mean, we could start talking about Ehlers-Danlos all day long, baby. And here's
Yeah.
one of the things too. As a neurodivergent coach for neurodivergent women, the physical aspect of self-care and sensory care and accommodations is so important because we
Mhm.
know the comorbidity rate is only going to go up. The more
Mhm.
research that gets done, what little research
Mhm.
is done, supports the fact that if you are ADHD, you are most likely autistic as well. If you are autistic, you are most likely hypermobile. If you have ADHD, I guarantee you got rejection sensitivity, baby. Is this thing on? I guarantee you have rejection
What?
sensitivity.
Me? No.
And let's sprinkle on top
Some
what
PDA?
really happened. Some CPTSD.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're
That's
neurodivergent, you
soup.
have trauma,
Yeah.
right?
Out,
That's what I
asthma,
say.
Lily, which also
Unless you live in this amazing society where that doesn't
people
exist.
believe you. Nobody believes you. Because I mean, here's the thing too. Any sort of medical professional that has the stance or argument that CPTSD symptoms mirror or can impersonate ADHD symptoms, if the treatments are the same, what does it matter?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
difference matter? All right, so we don't have to. We can continue talking.
I know.
We'll
Sorry.
take
This
this
gets like
after.
a
No,
whole
it's
nother.
I like it. I love it. You've got me
Yeah.
impassioned. But so let's flip the script then, and not flip the script. Let's continue on this path. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
how do you handle rejection sensitivity? Do you have any secrets for us?
So far, my I'm a newbie, you know this, right? So
So far,
far
I
my
just message
method
my coaches at the Neurospicy Academy on Slack whenever something happens.
yeah, um so far I just people please so that I don't get rejected. Is that a good method?
I've never had that setting, so I
Kidding.
wouldn't know. Um,
I you know what? I'm still working on that and it scares me. And that's why I'm really not sure what my answer is for that. I know that something that does help me is having affirmations.
yes.
Something else that happens to me, in grad school, they had us have this binder and they're like, anytime a client writes you a note, gives you a gift, sends you a picture, writes you a nice email, you're going to print it or you're going to save it. You're going to put this in this binder because there's going to be a day where there's a lot of days where you're like, that imposter syndrome is going to hit and, or something's going to happen. And you're going to be like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? And you're going to open this binder and you're going to look through it. So I've been doing that too. And I work with kids, so they give me like rocks and stuff. So it's kind of a bag instead of a binder.
You know what's funny?
Mm.
I speak every client that I have, every person I talk to in the neurodivergent entrepreneurial space has a different manifestation or a different internal monologue of that narrates their rejection sensitivity. So like, for example, my rejection sensitivity tells me and my imposter syndrome, when they go together, mine says, "Who the fuck do you think you are?
Mhm.
Who do you
Interesting.
know? Nobody, you don't know enough to teach people. You're not good enough for this, right?" And then yours says something totally different. And everybody says something totally
Yeah.
different to them.
I've actually been working on that in therapy because mine always says, "You're gonna quit. You're gonna give up." Because that was my pattern of starting things and then the novelty wears off or the burnout comes in or some of the other executive functions come into play and it doesn't get done. It starts off so strong and it's so exciting, passionate, work on it all the time. And then once that novelty wears off and the dopamine is gone, it's like, where it's gone. And that's why this workshop thing has been kind of scary because that's what my imposter syndrome says. You're not going to make it. You're going to give up. You're going to burn out because that used to be my pattern before I knew, how this whole thing works with executive functions and the dopamine chasing of the novelty of things.
You
So that's my
can,
voice.
you can, just from your coach here, you can flip the script on yourself a little bit when that starts happening and say to yourself, like focus on the impact that it's going to have on people's lives and the
Hmm.
change that's going to have. And I know because you work with kids and teens and parents, right? Like you really got to Caesar Milan these parents. Caesar Milan always says, "I rehabilitate dogs, I train humans," right? It's got to be similar when you're working with parents of neurodivergent kids and teens. But you can think to the point of, this is exciting because and it'll stay novel and new because you're gonna
Hmm.
go all the way through it and because you're gonna finish
Hmm.
it. So it's a brand new experience.
So finding the dopamine in there.
Yeah. And, not for nothing, I like to use visualize. I'm not much for a vision board simply because I don't like arts and crafts. I never have. I literally my whole life having these kids of mine. My kids are almost 13 and going on 15 this year.
Yeah.
Literally, anytime we ever did crafts, it's because some other parent was in charge of it and doing it, or like
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
single girlfriends would be like, "We want to do Easter eggs this year." I'm like, "Come on over. I'm not going to do it. You come do it with these kids. I'm
You
not
set
into
it up,
this." Ugh,
clean
I
it
don't
up.
even, I'll just sit over here and watch while they do it. I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not interested in any of that. But I do like to visualize and I like to use my powers of rehearsing and rehashing and
Hmm.
like ruminating on
Hmm.
when we're in the shower and we're like, this is what I would say to that bitch if I ever saw her again. Like instead of going there,
Totally.
I like
Yeah.
to go to my future, right? So this is the house my husband and I are going to buy that's right on the river. This
Hmm.
is the
Hmm.
vacations we're going to take. This is the stage that I'm going to walk across that says TED behind me, like
Hmm.
that's such a powerful
Hmm.
way to change that negative narrative that we get in our brain.
I will say I did find a really good meditation on the Insight Timer app that kind of structures around that visualization. And you could do it every day. For me, I do have strong visualization because I know some neurodivergent people have like aphantasia
Aphantasia.
where they can't,
Yeah.
make visual images in their mind. And I can, but my problem is the out of sight, out of mind thing, where if it's not in front of me, it's going to disappear because working memory, blah, blah, blah. So I think actually you're giving me an idea to do a vision board because I
You
do
know,
strong
Christina and I are
visualization.
talking about we're gonna do that at the academy for members of the academy.
Well,
We do that.
dang. Are you going to do it on like a mirror board or how are you going to do that?
We don't know yet. This is what we gotta talk about this afternoon, but it's gonna be one of our next things that we
On the
do
mirror
for
board
the
would be
group.
so cool because you could just pull images off of Google. Yeah,
Well, and you
that'd
know
be
what they
fun.
say? This is okay, so it's okay. Vision board's happening because it's like the ninth sign from my spirit guides about
We
it.
hear you. We hear
I
you.
get it. I'm not gonna
We
fart you off
hear
anymore. I
you.
get it. If you put it's even more powerful. So instead of putting a picture of like a yacht in the distance, you put a picture of what it looks like to sit at the dining table of the
While
yacht.
you're on it.
So like you do it
Mm.
from point of view. And then I also
POV.
know POV, baby. I also know
POV.
that having it right where it's like the first thing you look at and the last thing you look at every morning and every night is really powerful because that's when our brain is
Okay.
most malleable.
Theta.
Yeah.
Theta
Yeah.
brain. Is it theta the good one or
Absolutely.
the bad one?
Beta, and I know GABA is something that we want, and I just vacuum, so all I can think of is HEPA, so that's not even right.
Mm,
That's the
yeah.
ADHD kicking in.
and Roomba, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, no, I can't have that. My house is too old and my dogs are too mean. So, none of the
Wait,
4
hold
would
on.
move in.
Okay, the only thing about the mirror board is the out of sight, out of mind thing for me is I would have to print it and pin
Yeah,
it on my wall in front of my face,
yeah.
which is
Well, I
possible.
mean, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna do this because I have manifested. I sat around yesterday and I thought about everything that I have manifested. And
Hmm.
it's one of the most important parts of manifestation that we forget about too is to appreciate what you have now, right? And it
Hmm.
also triggers our competition, right? So I don't compete
Hmm.
with anybody else in this world but me,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
like I am so
Yeah.
proud of Melanie. That Melanie from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago would still be like picking her jaw up off the floor about what we're doing right now. So like
Mm, yeah.
we get when you're so forward focused and you're so
Hmm.
future focused and success focused, which I am, you
Yeah.
benefit tremendously from like slowing down for a minute and saying,
Mhm.
look at what we've done so far.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Like, look at what we've done so far. Because you know how important it is to feel things. In occupational
Yes.
therapy, I'm sure you work with these kids and these adults technically. And that moment when everything clicks in their brain
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
that look that comes across their face, I know as a coach, that's what I live for.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, definitely.
When they just go, "Oh."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
tell me, because I'm expecting this to be a fantastic answer from you,
Oh,
especially since
jeez.
you've been a member of the academy for a while now. If I were to drop a camera crew into your life
Yeah.
and film your past week,
Oh, God.
what would I see when it came to your self-care practice?
Okay. Self-care practice.
Do
Okay.
you have a bedtime routine?
I do. I
Okay,
do.
tell us about that.
Okay. So, some of the things in my self-care routine are, um, the really long hot shower with no device. My child bring
Ooh.
her phone in there, which I know sometimes you need your phone to shower. I get that. When you hit those days where you're like, I literally can't even. The executive
PDA
function.
profile? What?
What? Yeah.
PDA
Oh,
profile?
me?
What?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'll
And
watch a
how?
show in the shower sometimes just
Yes.
because that's the only
And
way
like,
I
there's
can get
no,
myself to agree.
yes. And that does happen sometimes for me. Showering used to be a really, really big thing for me, hard thing. But now it's better because now it's like where all the downloads are, so it's
Yeah.
exciting. But sometimes I do need to do that. So that's a thing that I've been working on because I used to always bring my phone in there. I do dry brushing I really like, and I
Ooh.
think we've talked about that too. You talked about it on an energy level, but I do it for like lymphatics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm doing this neural retraining program called the Gupta program, and
I've
it's
heard.
all about limbic and neural retraining, especially as it relates to calming down the reactivity of like mast cell activation, Lyme disease, chronic fatigue, fibro. And it works by kind of trying to move your nervous system out of that chronic hypervigilant fight or flight mode. So that includes going through some modules each day and doing at least one of the meditations. Um, and sometimes I don't have time for that or I don't have the capacity to do that. And I'll pull up my insight timer and I'll be like, let me find a 2-minute meditation."
Yeah.
You talk about like, okay, you're meditating every day. That's for 20 minutes. Is that realistic? Well, then have the high energy system, which is okay. It's a high energy day. I've got the motivation, the executive functions. I'll do a 20-minute. And then you've got your low energy system where I really just can't even, or I'm busy or whatever. Pull up a 2-minute, pull up a 3-minute,
Yep.
and then I am working out is something that really, 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 really helps with my working memory and emotional regulation. Just getting that heavy work in,
Uh-huh.
proprioception, weight
Yep.
training, moving around. I really let that go for about 2 or 3 years, and it's impacted me so bad. So I am fresh back on board for that kind of stuff.
So,
And then I meal prep too.
oh, I love that. You'll be very happy to know too. I've done some research. And I want everybody to know my research is always prompted by an intriguing TikTok video, right? I have literally baked into my everyday schedule as an entrepreneur. I have scrolling social media baked into my schedule
Yeah.
because it's such an important part of what I do
Uh-huh.
as a coach and as the co-owner of the Neurospicy Academy, right? Like I got to be
Yes,
on top of everything that's going on. I
you
got to have
do.
my thumb on the pulse. I got to know what's new,
Yes.
baby. And they are now saying um, that 5 to 10 minutes of exercise, whether it's sprinting, weightlifting,
Mhm.
picking up something heavy, moving
Yeah.
it somewhere else, anything like that, is more beneficial
Yes, I've been
than
hearing
30
that.
plus minutes. And that is, if you think about the science behind it, because this is the theory. The
Yeah.
theory is when you sprint, when you run really, really, really fast, your body naturally thinks we're being attacked by a saber-tooth
Yeah.
tiger, right? Adrenaline goes up, cortisol goes up, all that.
Cortisol.
So if you
Yeah.
stop running after a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever it is, then your
Mhm.
body goes, cool, we got away, we are alive, we
Yeah.
are well. If you're running for 30 plus minutes, your
Yeah.
body is stressed out that whole time going, what is chasing us? Are we dying
Yeah.
yet? What's going to happen? Right. And the same thing for when you like pick up heavy things and move heavy things. Right. So we know that lactic acid, which is the thing that makes the muscles burn when you're working out,
Mhm.
lactic
Mhm.
acid is really beneficial to the neurospicy brain.
Ooh, I love that. I did not know that.
So you lift up heavy things, you do a little bit of weightlifting,
Mhm.
do something to get your body burning. Then you
Mhm.
want to WALK vigorously. They're both right here. I can't say the word.
Oh gosh.
WALK vigorously for like 10, 20 minutes to get it pumping all through and get it through that brain blood barrier, or do
Mhm.
significant stretching afterwards. So you could literally
Mhm.
be doing a 20-minute workout total
Mhm.
2 or 3 days a
Yeah.
week and see significant improvement in your executive function.
I love that. And I'm down for that. Just a little 20-minute hit. I just designed one this week where it was like jog on the treadmill 5 minutes, do a little lifty. Jog on the treadmill 4 minutes, do a little lifty. 3, 2, 1. It took
Perfect.
like 20 minutes and it felt good. And there's that novelty of switching and variation. So
Yes.
I'm like, we got it, guys. We
Yes.
got it.
Yes. So, as an occupational therapist that works primarily with kids and teens and
Hmm.
has a workshop coming up for
Hmm.
parents that are dealing with
Yeah.
all of the challenges of having a
All of the
neurodivergent
things.
child and trying to
Yeah.
figure it out, what would you say are some of your most frequent issues that parents and kids are dealing with? And what are some of the fixes for them?
Oh, fixes. Yes. The silver bullets that I have.
Yeah.
Right. That's funny. I was actually just making a list of that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, I mean, would feel like the most common concern is around emotional regulation. That is number one. Sorry, my child is laughing in the background, which she shouldn't be because speaking of emotional regulation, I love you. Um,
Get out of here.
get out of here. And then transitions and school refusal.
Ooh.
And school refusal was this girl right here.
Yeah, school
So,
sucks.
so I'm like, yeah, don't go. Just,
Seriously.
but I'll tell you what, they're not refusing because they just don't want to go or
Yeah.
because it's boring. You got to figure it out. And all of these things come down to what I call um, like the unique capacities of the child, these different domains. Which domain, say there's 6 domains, I'll name them off in a second, which one of them is affecting this specific task that you're having a challenge in. The domains be the nervous system, sensory processing, executive functions, motor functions, which include motor skills and motor planning, communication, and the physical body. Because, yeah, hypermobility, muscle tone, um, GI, and any medical trauma that comes along with that. And so and that's kind of what I would like to base workshop on is learning about these 6 unique capacities and how they affect and contribute to the child's interaction with the world, their success, their performance, their participation, and how can you support these capacities for success and wellness and happiness, whether that means, um, I call it TTE, person, task, environment. Are we going to support the person in their capacities? Are we building these skills? Or T, task, are we going to adapt the task for their capacities? Or E, environment, are we modifying the environment for this capacity? Because a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on the child, on the person, when really, let's look at this task in the environment, which was made for the neurotypical neurotype. How can we make this more inclusive? Take down the barriers. And so it's a nice way to look at a task or activity or challenge or demand more holistically, less pressure on the person, more on society, task, environment.
You're really rocking my world because when I was a server at many, many restaurants, right? From
Hmm.
the last restaurant that I worked at for 5.5 years is when I quit to do my business full time. My The thing that made me like physically angry to do, the one task that I every single time, if I could farm it off to someone else, I
Yeah.
always would. And it doesn't make any sense. But now it makes sense because of all those different indicators and influencers of how you feel and how you process stuff was getting the first round of drinks for a large table, right? Diet Coke,
Mhm.
regular Coke, Dr. Pepper. How the fuck am I going to figure out which one, or how am I going to remember which one's which? I got to carry a
Yeah.
heavy tray, but like the physical act of going from the dining room into the kitchen area
Yeah.
and have to scoop that one part of it, start to finish and
Mhm.
bringing them to the table was the thing that I dreaded the most, that I hated doing the most. And now I understand why. There were so many other people back there. It was loud. I hate the sound of the ice. I don't like having to remember the executive function part of having to remember which one's which, right? This one has 2 straws. This one has one,
Oh
right?
my gosh. So let's go through the 6 unique capacities. Number 1, emotional regulation of the nervous system. You have past experiences where this was negative, so you're triggered. You're dysregulated. Do you have a PDA profile?
Yeah.
There you go. That's a stress response. 2, sensory processing. You are taking in all of this auditory information. I don't know if you're an auditory processor. I'm
Oh,
not.
it's bad.
Can
It's
you?
bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So I would have to write that down. I don't know if, you know, executive functions, you are that is the most working memory of anything. I don't, unless you're writing it down, which still You're
Even
like, okay,
writing it
that's
down
diet,
and
that's
looking at
regular.
it and bringing it, like,
Yeah.
looking at the thing and yeah, even that was just like,
Divided attention, shifting your attention, and then these thoughts are coming in. Oh my God, that look at the on that guy, like, look, make that thought get out of my mind. This
forgot
is supposed
ranch
to be
for
taking
table
his order.
43. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that person just walked in. Did I go to high school with that person? Anyway, and then okay, that was executive functions. 4 motor functions, you know, strength and motor planning. That's a lot of motor planning. Um, communication, and what comes into communication, especially if you're autistic, is you're a very direct communicator, I like to say.
I used to get in trouble for it.
Yeah. Well, that's tone policing. So
I used to
it's
get in
okay.
trouble for it. I've many, many relationships, both working and personal. People have said, "I don't think you should have told me that." I said, "So you would have rather me lied." Yep. So okay,
Lying. Well, yes,
this
neurotypical
isn't gonna
people like
work.
the fluffiness and the lying. So you
Yeah.
got to dig through that. Like, is that what she really meant? Blah, blah, blah. Are you insinuating something? Can I just take what you are saying at face value? And then 6, the physical body, hypermobility, low muscle
Big
tones.
heavy
How does that?
trays.
Yeah, fatigue, which fatigue is going to affect your motor functions, it's going to affect your executive functions, and it's going to affect your nervous system and emotional regulation. And so while there are all these 6 unique capacities that are affecting the tasks, they're also so intertwined with each other. I mean, this is my jam. And
Now
guess
you
what?
give
There's
me
a
a
name
new
for
thing to.
this.
What is that?
It's called activity analysis.
Activity and
And that is the specialty of an occupational therapist. And that's what sets them apart from PT, SLP, and other therapists is that we are skilled in breaking down the domains of a task like this. And I want to teach people how to do that for their
and
kids.
it's so interesting because what most people don't know is that we are already accommodating ourselves some way, shape, or form with coping mechanisms that may be
Mhm,
healthy, may not be healthy, right? And I always tell people,
mhm.
I don't want you to cope, I want you to thrive. So
Yeah.
I literally had kind of baked into my job. I was like, okay, well, I really enjoy working in the bar area because you're more likely to have a bunch of two tops than you were. Like, I would rather have 8 two tops than one
Wait,
16.
what is that?
Oh, so like the amount of people at the table, right? So if you go to dinner
Oh,
with 10 people, that's a 10 top. If you go to dinner just you and your partner, that's a
what?
2 top. So I would
I
the
thought you
way
said
that
tube top, by the way.
I
And
mean,
I was
there
like,
was
I
a
think I'd
day.
rather serve a tube top also.
Yeah, it's a party, but I would rather take care of 8 tables of 2 than 1 table of 16.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
then I worked with people because this was a very busy restaurant, very
Why do you
popular
think
chain
that
restaurant.
is?
Well, there's some people that really like to have a large party. They love working a large party. For me, it was that you were so much more likely to get stuck with a bunch of dickheads or a bunch of people that are not nice to serving staff and whatnot if it was one party, as opposed to
Gotcha.
if it was 8 different tables, I was way more likely to run into cool people.
Okay. Got
And I was
got
a
your
fantastic server. I know how to take care of people. I know how to host. I know how to make sure that people get the right food. I'm very direct. I actually got in trouble once. A lady had ordered a salad that comes with goat cheese on it. And she had even said, like, I want this salad because it has goat cheese. Is this the only one with goat cheese? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, okay. So I bring the salad and I go to check after her first couple bites. This is not my most shining moment. But again, how did we not know I was autistic? I said, how is everything? She goes, it's not good. And I said, why? And she goes, it's the cheese. I said, the goat cheese that you wanted. She goes, yeah. She goes, I didn't realize it was going to be soft. And I literally said, I didn't realize goat cheese came any other way. And I
and
got
you
in
meant
trouble.
it.
I
Mm,
did. I was like, goat cheese is a soft cheese, ma'am. What are we? But like the fact that we had had a conversation about it and
yeah.
that I was trained to have conversations with people like, oh, that dish is spicy. Oh, this is this, blah, 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 so
Yeah.
that these kind of things don't happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. Wow. So 6 unique capacities and then activity analysis. So this is going to really
Mhm,
crack the code for everybody listening and everybody in my community and everybody in your community, because those are the things that allow you to
mhm.
understand how to accommodate yourself.
Absolutely. And like you said, teens and adults too. But, my passion is children.
I mean, imagine what the the people we can create, the people that are going to grow up with understanding of all this. Like,
I know. And you know what's funny is it's been here all along, and it's what you're doing. It's what I'm doing. We just haven't put it in this way of where we're saying, let me put these into domains. Let me show you how these domains affect a task. And then the PTE part, are we building your skills and executive functions? Or are we adapting the tasks to your executive functions? Or are we modifying the environment to help your executive functions? Like having a caddy in each room, a cleaning caddy in each room to help you get the cleaning done because it's right there and it's accessible. There's not a bunch of steps to it. Or are you adapting the task? Okay, spray bottle and a rag. That's kind of a lot. How about a wipe? One step. Or are we working on your, how- you know what? After working with this whole PTE thing, I'm all about the T and the E, man, because it's so much less pressure on the person. And there's such a balance between building up these skills and teaching to mask, I think,
burnout, in all the research that I've
and
been
burnout
doing about burnout recovery, burnout is not a result of being neurodivergent. Burnout is a result of masking.
of
And
pretending to be neurotypical.
because if you think about it, if you think about a wheel, that wheel has what, 360 degrees, a circle, right? This is how much energy you have every day.
Mhm,
If you are spending 50% of that time monitoring everybody else's behavior, monitoring
mhm.
your own behavior,
Oh my
trying to fit
gosh.
into these molds that don't work for you, laughing at jokes that are not funny, feeling like you have to talk back to people when they start talking to you at the grocery store and whatnot, right? Like, just for
What
me, it's too much to even hear the
it's
outside world. I
too
go everywhere with
much.
headphones on.
I have to say something because that reminded me of something. So years ago, we would talk about this thing and we would call it after school restraint collapse syndrome.
Oh
When the
yeah.
kid when the kid would go through, by the way, this was totally me. The kid would go through the day and was great at school and they were totally fine. And then they get home and they fall apart. And we're like, oh my gosh, after school restraint collapse syndrome, their restraint of restraining their needs and their feelings is coming down because they're in a safe place where they can unmask. And it's just an explosion of emotions. And I'm like, yo, that's masking. Can we just call it that? It's not another syndrome. You're spending your whole day masking because you're either A, you're not in a place where you feel safe to unmask because you will not be accepted. You will be bullied. You won't make it through a standard education. You're pushing your cognitive abilities into burnout. And then you go home to your safe space and you unmask and you got all these things. The answer isn't some behavioral strategies for at home. The answer is accommodations for school.
I actually, it's so funny you say that. I say that to my youngest every day when he comes home from school. He's an Aries sun with a Taurus moon. He's got a lot of Taurus placements. Bless his heart, thank God.
Mhm.
Um, and he comes home, and I can just tell when he's and I'll look at him, and the first thing I say to him is, "Did you have to mask a lot today?" And if he says, "Yeah," I literally just leave him alone. Like, when he comes home from
Yeah.
school, I get one or two
Uh-huh.
sentences in with him, and then he goes and he changes out of his school clothes and goes pee and just whatever he does, and he comes out about 45 minutes later, and we can deal with him.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that just brings up to me like parents being concerned about like screen time and stuff. And I'm like, it depends on how it's being used. If that's a decompression after these hours of holding it together, then it sounds like it's a very important tool in their routine,
Yeah.
you know? That's a whole nother freaking podcast. So
Well, I mean,
go
okay,
into
so
that.
as an occupational therapist for kids and teens, I would go out on a limb simply with my experience of my own neurodivergent kids and our low demand living that we have going on here in our home that we stumbled upon intuitively and have had great success navigating ever since. Um, but neurodivergent kids are pretty smart. They're pretty above average. They're hyper vigilant. They're able to pick up on everything that's going on around
Mhm.
them. And instead of restricting and treating them like they're a kid and they can't make any decisions on their own, have you seen parents have a lot of luck if they start treating their kid more honestly and openly and just like, okay, well, if you need 45 minutes when you get home from school to just not talk and sit there and play on your tablet or your phone or whatever, like, I don't see
Yeah.
a reason why that would be a problem,
Yeah.
you know?
That actually reminds me of a um a doctor that is pretty popular for school behaviors and explosive behaviors. I'm just going to say behaviors, but I hate that word. And this kind of thing. Dr. Ross Green has this program called Collaborative Proactive Solutions, CPS, not the best acronym, but it's all about joining the child in collaborative problem solving around these things, taking into account what their concerns are and what their perspective is. And which is great for PDA kids because with PDA kids, that whole authoritative, you do what I say because I'm the adult and that is stress response central.
Huh?
That's why CPS of Dr. Ross Green, I God, that better be his name. It is so great is because it's a collaborative activity between in the parent-child relationship that's gonna you're gonna do your whole life together, A, and B is gonna be a lifelong skill.
Yeah.
And it's a
And
process and there's steps to it and they go into it and it includes emotional validation and perspective taking, and you work together to a shared goal. And you could do that with device time if you need to.
okay, so collaborative, proactive, what is it called?
Collaborative Proactive Solutions by Dr.
Solution.
Ross Green.
So the emotional, what did you just say? The word left me. Emotion, like affirming kids' emotions. I
Oh,
believe
emotional validation.
emotional validation. I believe one of the most detrimental things to undiagnosed neurodivergent children is invalidating their emotions. When I tell
I
you
agree.
the book that I'm going to write, my
Hmm.
whatever is going to be called validated, not only because of my,
Oh, I
psychic
love
abilities
that.
and my intuitive abilities, but
Yeah.
literally. And I am no longer friends with somebody who had a hellion of a child and
Mhm.
he was young, like 2 or 3. Hellion of a child. He ruled the roost. He screamed all the time just to get his own way. Like he worked every grown up, but he could not work me because I would
Mhm.
not allow it. But I did not invalidate his emotions. So if he fell, I wouldn't look at him and say, "You're okay, you're okay, you're okay." Like I wouldn't freak out because I know better. I have raised sons. I wouldn't like instantly think that he had anything broken. I was going to wait until there was reason to, freak out. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
tell him he was okay. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, if he was but she would. So if he felt, she'd be like, "You're okay, you're okay, you're okay." You don't know if the kid's okay yet or not, and you are freaking
Mhm.
out no matter what it is. So, like, just look at him and say, "You good?" Right?
Yeah. Oh, you fell.
"Yeah. You all
You
right?
fell.
Everything working okay?
Slip a
Do you
roof.
need to go to the ER?" Right? So, like, I just to be invalidated your entire life, of course, we're gonna have like I said out loud in a video that I have PMDD, PCOS, and endometriosis, and as soon as I heard myself say it on camera, I said, "There's no fucking way."
Yeah.
But yeah, there is.
Yeah. How
There
could you
absolutely is. Right?
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? All right, let's see if we can get this train back on the tracks because I can't keep all of your
I
time
don't
right now. I
even
can't.
know what the track is. Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I'm good at this. This is why I run the Neurospicy Academy with Christina. We welcome everyone. We cater to a neurospicy and we design everything for the neurodivergent brain, no matter where you fall on the spectrum. So
why I love it.
we like to be good at what we do. I don't want to be good at everything, but I want to be good at what I do.
Heck
Let
yeah.
me put this train back on the tracks and we will talk about the Neurospicy Academy and
Yeah.
simply say, what has being a member of the Neurospicy Academy really helped you achieve with your business? I know you've been with us for a month. I don't know. Time does that
Mhm.
weird thing and I don't.
Something like that. Yeah, no clue. It had it has really helped me realize what is important to me and where I'm just absolutely spinning my wheels and burning time and energy and money when and where I really should be focusing because I am just the novelty queen. It's like anytime something new pops up, I'm like that. And I'm going to do that and that and that and that. And when I sat down with Christine, she was like, dude, you're doing like 20 things and they're all you're like, look at this is what is bringing you joy and this is what is supporting your family. This is what is helping most people. You need to focus on this.
Yeah.
These can be hobbies, these can be whatever, these can be upsells or whatever, or like supplemental materials or whatever. But she's like, you're gonna burn out. It helps me just realign my focus and realize what I wanted to do
Yeah.
because
Yeah. We
I was kind of following the dopamine for a while there, which is important too, but I was gonna burn. Actually, I already did. So I'm
she's
in
so
burnout
good
recovery.
at, aren't we all? Okay, Google, turn it on. It's 3 o'clock. I have an alarm set for 3 o'clock, so I know it's 3 o'clock every day.
Good
Anyways,
job.
it's an accommodation. So
It
she is
is.
so fantastic at coming up with a blueprint, right? So what's your 10-year
Oh my
plan?
gosh, it was
Every one of
so
our
good.
members is like a 10-year plan. I don't know. She goes, I know that's why we're going to do this. And, really showing you all of the options and all of the ways that you can really build a successful business and empire, right? Because we're not
Mhm.
just going to make money from our business. Some people are meant to be entrepreneurs and work a job and have side hustles their whole life, right? Like some people don't want to build a big, gigantic empire. I do, but some
Mhm.
people don't.
Mhm.
And so she's able to really visualize and see all of this for you and give you the
Oh my
blueprint. And
gosh,
then you get to
she's
come to
so good.
me for your
Yes.
playbook where all of your
Yeah.
mindset gremlins are going,
Yes.
what are we gonna do? And we're able to talk through and get you to a clear place of understanding which way you're going to be going.
Yeah, you definitely can't do one without the other.
No, you
No.
absolutely, absolutely can't do.
I feel like I'm cheating you guys because of how priceless yet like I how much I'm paying a month compared to the value that I'm receiving has been insane. Yeah, and
It
it's
is good
only been
value.
oh my gosh, it's priceless like I said, but like I'm cheating the system over here.
Yeah, it's really unlike anything else that's on the market because it's not just a master class that meets once a week. It's not just, a bunch of templates or anything like that. It's a supportive community with daily access to expert coaches.
Mhm. And I love the
No,
campus.
oh, the virtual campus is the best. Are you kidding me? Everybody gets to make their own avatar and we get to just come in. And you know me, every time somebody comes into the library, if they don't sit at the table where everybody else is, I go over and say, what are you working on? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like
How's
a
it
video
going?
game. My
It is.
daughters asks about it, like, every day. She's like, are you going on Gather? Are you going on campus?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, let's see who's at the table." Or I'll go
Yeah.
sit by the fire and have some background noise, but what I really love about it is the body doubling parallel play. So, like, I gotta do my taxes or I gotta work on my website or I gotta do something that is just so low dopamine and low motivation. I get on there and I sit at the table and other people are doing it too, and it just pulls up that co-regulating body doubling effect where
Yep.
it's like, "Oh my gosh, I can do this now."
I had
Like
a
when your
whole
friend comes
list of,
over and you start doing your dishes, And you're like,
yes,
"Wow."
it's the only way to get it done. The only way to
Yeah.
get it done. On our Tuesday night roundtables, our Rebel roundtables, we were talking about ChatGPT and how you can, essentially make him an assistant in your business and how to really use him and how to prompt him and all that. And I had a whole, I have my to-do list sitting in front of me on my notebook every single day, and the to-do list grows and it gets things checked off and things added and it's flexible.
Can
But
I have one of those?
yeah, I want one. It's
Sorry, I
an
heard a
Oreo. I
Diet
want
Coke
one.
open.
Hell
Diet
yeah.
Coke.
But
Bring me one,
we
please.
got into the meeting and I had this whole list of emails that I had to send the next day, right? Okay, so send this part, da, 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 da.
Mhm.
And I ended up sending half those emails during our meeting because I already knew how to use ChatGPT, but because everybody was there, my body and brain went, all right, do the things now.
What is that? I mean, I've been calling it
Sorcery.
co-regulation. Sorcery.
Sorcery.
Okay,
I
that
don't
makes
know.
more sense.
I don't know. Parallel play. It's such a, we
Parallel
really
play is a good way.
enjoy it. And if it were in real life, you would come over to my house and I would make lunch and you would sit there on your laptop and I would sit here on my thing and we would do what we have to do. And if we had questions or needed input, we'd say, hey, what do you think of this? Does this sound good? And then the same way, and you're getting the work done that doesn't require full and utter attention, but enough that you don't want to do it by yourself
So
because
then
it's
that's
boring.
co-regulation. You're
Yeah.
co-regulating with a peer. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is amazing to me,
Yep.
how that works. Do neurotypical people have that?
No, non-typical people are expected to like do the same thing. Like, okay, come over and we'll all watch the same show. No way.
Oh, okay, collaborative play, we call that in, pediatrics.
I don't like it.
Gross? I prefer parallel play for sure.
I do too. Parallel play all day. Like I didn't even like when I was in college for that short period of time before like I got my degree as an adult. When I was in college, I don't even like playing drinking games. Like don't tell me I have to play
I
a
don't
card
either.
game. Or don't tell me
Do
like don't tell
not
me how I have to
make
do
me play
things.
a
Can
game.
we just hang out and let me do what I want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
PDF profile.
Yes.
PDF profile I could go on for weeks. All right, but
Me
Haley,
too.
I'm
Yeah.
going to before we do the lightning round, I have a
Oh,
few questions
no.
that are fun that I ask. They're just fun ADHD type questions, right? Just
Okay.
to so everybody gets on the same playing field, and they're very, very easy. They're not deep. It just helps people understand you a little bit further and identify with you a little bit further. So before I do
Mhm.
that, I'm going to ask you to plug your spot. Tell us about all the ways that the audience and myself can find out more about you, follow you, support you, and how they
Mhm.
can
Mhm.
benefit from your services.
Okay. Well, my website is haleywens.org, HALEYWENS.org. I will be putting a link to the workshops in there
Yeah.
shortly. They're not there right now, but I think by the time this is up and running, everything will be
Yeah.
ready to go. I haven't really been doing a lot of social media because, well, I guess because I have a wait list for my services, so I don't really need to do a lot of marketing. But now that
Ayo.
workshops, I gotta get that up and running. What I've been doing the most on is TikTok, honestly. So that's at the underscore ND underscore OT. I
Boom.
and I'll post about the ebook is on there that I told you about, and
What is the name of your
the
ebook?
oh my gosh, the name is so long. Are you ready for it?
I'm
I
ready for
actually
it.
literally being an inclusive and supportive parent, provider, and teacher for neurodivergent children, understanding autism and ADHD under the neurodiversity paradigm.
I love it.
That is
So
on my website under
professional.
resources. Thank
We
you.
love that. And tell us a little bit about the workshop that you have coming up.
The workshop is going to be probably like a 4-module series called Unique Me that looks at those 6 unique capacities of neurodivergent children and how these traits contribute to their interaction with the world. Um, because, neurodivergent children have unique social emotional learning and information processing styles that's going to require distinct parenting approaches to support them in being
Excellent.
happy and healthy and successful. And we're going to look at those capacities and the PTE and the activity analysis, kind of teach how to break things down in that way.
You've already rocked my world by these 6 unique
Woo!
capacities, and I can't wait to dive into and read your ebook and do some more research myself because
Rock
that's
it.
my special interest is education and research.
I love it.
That's how I
I
keep
love it.
everything novel. I love to research, and so that always changes
Yes.
whatever topic it is.
Love it.
Whatever topic it is. All right, wonderful. So before I let you go here, it's time for the lightning round. These are 5 silly
Okay.
questions to enlighten our fellow neurodivergents. First and foremost, what's your favorite social media platform?
TikTok.
Uh,
That wasn't very
what?
lightning fast.
Listen, sometimes we overanalyze and we overthink. It's okay. Second question. What's the most recent rabbit hole you've gone down?
Oh my God. The most recent rabbit hole I've gone down. Oh, so boring. It's gonna be so boring for you. But no, it's not. Top down approaches versus bottom up approaches
Why would that be
to,
boring for me? I was just talking about that yesterday.
were you? I don't know. That's like,
Mm.
right. I come in and out of that, but like, you know, teaching top Okay. Anyway, lightning round. Sorry, that was I
No, I
food
love top
wrap.
down. For anybody who doesn't know, autists typically deal with bottom up thinking. So, and top down thinking is what neurotypicals and holistics really do. So, for example, when an autistic person or a neurodivergent person walks into a coffee shop, bottom up means they have to look at the floor, they have to look at the things, they have to hear the sounds, they have to identify the smells, see the things, right? So, you walk into a Starbucks and a neurotypical goes, okay, this is a Starbucks, this is a coffee shop, this bing, bang, boom. But a neurodivergent person is
Forest.
like,
So there's
okay,
trees.
yeah, there's tables and there's this and there's that, la, 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 la. Like, so you literally are you taking in every piece of information in
Mhm.
detail.
Which is amazing. Yeah. Like I say, like you see the forest, but I'm seeing the trees,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Absolutely. All right. What is your favorite or current, either one, pick your poison, emotional support show?
Friends. So cliche.
So cliche. That's all right. Mine's Parks and
So
Rec.
oh yeah, I meant to get into that because we were talking about Parks and
Oh,
Rec
I
and
love Parks and Rec. Oh, and I've just recently restarted again Downton Abbey, but it's not going the same as it used to. So it's okay. I might need a new emotional sports show. Fourth question. Have you consumed any water today?
I was drinking magnesium and electrolytes while we were talking.
You have the
And
best answer out of anybody I've interviewed so far.
it's the timing was right because I'm so hydrated right now, and that's why I'm doing it.
Good.
Um, but I saw this TikTok the other day, and he just puts full water bottles all over the place because out of
Yep.
sight, out of mind, and then you just thank you. Um,
Yeah. I love a Diet Dr. Pepper.
and a little Diet Coke. So yes, thank you. I do. I
Good.
am behind on hydration, but
All right. Your final
fast
question. What
right
is
now.
your current dopamine snack?
My current dopamine snack is Diet Coke. And I told you the other day that I'm totally a food sensory seeker. And so I like those Mama Chia pouches, which people probably think are
Yeah.
so gross because they give you a little protein. My daughter just goes, they're so good. But I also like I think they're called Sargento balance breaks. They're like,
Yeah.
they have the cheese cubes and the nuts and the dried fruit. So it's like every texture. And then I put a dried fruit and a nut and the cheese in my mouth at the same time. And
Yeah.
it's just like a flavor texture explosion. Dopamine.
Yes. It's like a
Amazing.
travel charcuterie board. I'm for it.
Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
okay. You like those. Oh my gosh. They're so
Yeah.
good.
I don't eat meat,
Those
but
are
I eat
like,
everything else on charcuterie boards.
there you go.
In fact, the only meat that I actually probably would mess with ever again would be a charcuterie meat because of that texture. God, that's so funny. That's so great. All right.
Yeah.
So I won't take any more of your time. I want
Thank
to
you.
say thank you so much, Haley Wens, for being here on Trailblazers Rising. All of your information
Love
will
it.
be posted for all of our listeners, and we will talk very soon.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Bye.